Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first YouTube channel episode, which is going to be based on World of Tanks, which is the game that I am most avidly playing at the moment. My name is Mecheye. My handle on YouTube will be Mr. Mecheye, due to the fact that Mecheye was already taken by someone else. Grr. But my actual name is Jim, but I'll probably be referring to myself as Mecheye since it's my alias for gaming, and I've been using it since I was like 12 years old, so it's very comfortable. World of Tanks, game of the moment for me and for quite a lot of other people, as it seems like the NA server has been exploding with newbies of late. And the reason I really enjoy this game is it's kind of a slow-paced, strategic, mental battle. There's a lot of different tanks. Any tank can be good. It really just depends on your style of play and the environment that you're put in, and making risk-reward decisions and hopefully making the right ones at the right times and hoping that your team doesn't just run off and die alone, which they do most of the time. But I will try not to be another embittered forum chatter about how public battles are run by donkeys or lemmings or whatever you want to call them, bads. I myself am a self-proclaimed good player. I'm not great. I'm on the learning curve trying to get somewhere higher up. I don't have a tier 10 tank yet. I'm on my way working there. But I would say that I'm a good player. I do use XVM to try and keep an eye on my stats. What man doesn't like to see numbers and watch them go up constantly? I'm at somewhere around 7,500 to 8,000 battles. And I'm still massively enjoying the game, even though I've been playing it now for almost a year and a half solid. I was there 2 years ago when the game first started up live. However, I took a large break when I had a new job and I was moving, and I was playing some other games. I think StarCraft had come out, and StarCraft 2 and a couple other games. I do play a lot of games. But this is one of the first games I've really played for a long period of time, and I've been watching a lot of content on YouTube. Some of my favorites are Darkling, Quickie Baby, The Mighty Jingles, Side Strafe, and Nether Void. Massive shout out to those guys who kind of inspired me to go ahead and do this. I really enjoy all the content that you guys put out, so thank you very much. And thank you for the inspiration for this. The reason that I'm here, though, is because I kind of want to try to add something to the WOT community, World of Tanks, that is, and try to give my point of view on the game, try to help new players succeed. Try to help them not fail as often as they do. Try to help myself get better. There's massive room for improvement, which I'll show you in my own gameplay. Well, I'd say the best player, if you want to look at a guy who's an elite player, is Quickie Baby. You can see him on Quickie Baby TV, his channel on YouTube. I've been watching him a lot recently. He's a amazing, phenomenal player. And even he'll admit that he has about a bad match in 1 out of every 5. And I'd say right now I'm probably at about 2 out of every 4. So every other battle I might have a bad battle. And that's just because I haven't learned all the ins and outs. Like I said, I don't even have a tier 8 or tier 10 tank yet. I'm very close to a couple of them. But I still have a lot to learn. And you'll see that when I show you some of my own gameplay. But if you want to see someone who's really good and can teach you how to play perfect every time, Quickie Baby is the guy to look at. However, it's not easy just to become an amazing player overnight, and he'll be the first to admit that. What it takes with this game is practice, 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 practice. Knowing the maps, knowing the tanks in and out, knowing other tanks in and out, knowing every crevice of every map so that you're never surprised by anything, or if you are, you know what to do. Understanding the game mechanics is a big thing. A lot of people don't do that, and they're always tweaking them, so you kind of have to pay attention to the patch notes and look at all the numbers that they're constantly just pouring out for us to look at, and how they describe how bounces work, how different shells work, how spaced armor works, how tracks work. These are the things you need to know, and the only way you learn them is by poring over information and playing a ton of games. Like I said, I'm close to 8,000 battles, I think. You can see here in my garage, I've got around 24, 26 tanks or something like that, which is a lot, I think. But I mean, you look at these other guys who have just 50 to 60 tanks, and that's ridiculous. I don't think I can manage that many. Let's look at my service record here. 7,539 battles with a 52.77 win rate, which I think is pretty decent. WN6 is 63, so I'm a green. That's something to look for, something to at least hold my hat on. I mean, you don't see a lot of green players these days, let alone, blue and purple. But we'll talk about those another time. 62 percentile efficiency rating. I average around almost 600 experience a battle, and that is one thing I really pride myself on. That's a statistic I really care about is experience per battle, because that really tells you how well you did. Damage is great. I try to do about, I think I'm around 1,100 or a little under damage per game, and I still play a lot of lower tier tanks, like 5s and 4s from time to time. But I think I'm just about done climbing up lines. I haven't really, I don't think there's many lines for me to crawl up that I haven't. I'm primarily a heavy tank player. That's what I started off doing. When the game first came out, was first live, I started up the German heavy line, which ended in the mouse back then. And if you look at my stats, you'll see that the Panzer IV, which is a tier 5, and the VK3601H, which is a tier 6, I have almost the most battles on, and that's because I was a not premium player, and this was back before, you made a lot more experience and a lot more credits per battle, and you just had to grind. And all I did was grind this line. I was only going up one line when I started. And by the way, that is not a good way to start and learn how to play this game. You do not want to start one line, because you do not learn the nuances of other tanks. You start grinding, and you don't stop playing with one tank when you're having a bad day with it, and that's just something to avoid. One thing I've learned very quickly about this game, and it was pointed out to me by Darkling, is that if you're having a bad day and you can't string together a win out of 4 games, you need to quit. You need to call that a day, move on, and play something else. Go work out, go outside, do something else, because it's just not your day for tanks. And it happens to the best of us, and you just need to identify and not get angry and keep playing, because I have never had a day where I started off playing just terribly and it magically turned around. It's a game of momentum, I feel like, at least for me, because of the way I like to play. I'm very aggressive, and a very risk-reward kind of player, I'd say. I don't like sitting and doing nothing. I don't like waiting for things to unfold. I like to control the flow of the battle, and that's just, that style of play. If you get aggravated and you get, sort of disheartened by what's going on, it's very easy to just sort of rage out at the game and not do anything productive. And then you're just hurting your stats, you're hurting your teams, and you're not having fun. This is a game for fun. That's why we're here playing it. It's because we enjoy playing the game. It's fun. So I'm a heavy tank player for the most part. I've gone up almost every heavy line there is, with the exception of the Chinese line, which I haven't. I'm up to tier 6. I've got the Type 58. I just haven't been playing the Chinese very much because their lower tier tanks are okay. I've had some fun with a couple of them. I've not had some fun with the others. They're very similar to the Russian medium tanks / light tanks, which I never played the Russian medium line. I'm kind of cheating up it in another way. We'll go over my tech tree and take a look at that. Sorry, I haven't really been doing much on the screen. It's my first video, so bear with me if you won't, please. I never really went up the Russian medium line, as you see, but I am cheating because I went up the KV-1S line, and I did unlock the KV-13, which I just bought this last weekend. Played a couple battles, and actually after watching my Jingles review, I decided to take the plunge and decided to try getting up the Russian medium line, because I know that the T-62A is the holy grail of medium tanks. But you see primarily heavy tanks. I've got all the Russian heavy tanks unlocked up to tier 9. I've got the IS-8, amazing tank. STI, I'm going to call it the STI, because I have a Subaru STI, and I like saying it. So I have those 2 heavies. As you can see, I'm also getting up pretty far into the Russian TD line, which is the first TD line I started probably last summer. I'm up to the ISU-152. However, I do not have the BL-10, so at the moment it's not a very enjoyable tank. We'll go over the Germans because those are the first tanks I played. You see I've gone up all the German heavy lines. I'm up to the E75, and I'm very near to unlocking the VK4502P. I'm also unlocked the Ferdinand by going through the Tiger P line, which was a Actually, very enjoyable way to go. I massively enjoyed the Tiger P. It was a great tank. Um, and I still have the Ferdinand, and that is a amazing tank destroyer as well, albeit a tricky one that you need to learn how to play. I'm very close to the Jag Tiger. I'll probably be getting that within the next, not the next week, because actually, as you can see, I'm very close to the E100, and we have the event this week, getting to the E100, so I'm trying to get that and buy it so I can have my first tier 10. Very exciting. Yeah, and then Americans, I've done obviously the T29, going up their heavy line. I got the M103, which is a massively enjoyable tank. I've got the Carnarvon on the British line, trying to get to the Conqueror and the FV. I've heard nothing but good things. I enjoy the Carnarvon very much. Good tank. French, I'm up to the AMX 5120, their heavy tank. If you call it a heavy tank, it's more of an auto-loading glass cannon, but an enjoyable line nonetheless. And I think a line everybody in this game should play, just to get a different style of how to play this game. You could also say that about the American autoloader line going to the T57, but that's a very different line in the way it works going up, because you kind of bounce between mediums, lights, and then you finally get autoloaders, I think, at the T71. One of my friends that you'll see me platooning with quite a lot, his name is Aolgo86 on World of Tanks, but I call him lovingly Frodo. Maybe you'll understand that someday, maybe you won't. He's going up that line right now, and I'm really excited about it because I want to have a auto-loading American on my team. And then Chinese, you see I have a Type 58, really nothing crazy there. So going to my garage, you can see it's just a lot of heavy tanks, but I'm starting to get into more of the mediums. I'm trying to get up to the Leopard line, so I've got the VK 3002D, which used to be the DB, and I used to think was the worst tank in the game, but I found a way to make it work, and hopefully I'll show you that at some point in the near future. Let's see what else. My favorite tank in the game, Type 59. Sorry to new players, you'll probably never get one, but you'll face plenty of them. There's very rare ways to get the Type 59. I don't think they'll ever bring it back, which is probably to the benefit of most people because it's a very difficult tank to face. It's also a very difficult tank to drive, for that matter. Everyone thinks it's OP, but really, if you don't know how to play it, it just dies very quickly. But it is my favorite tank in the game, probably. It has the ability, especially if it's top tier, to control an entire battle. And actually, I think my first review, which I'm going to do later today after work, I work in the afternoon, I'll show you a match I had very recently with my Type 59 where I basically controlled the whole battle. My stats didn't really show it. I mean, I was still, I think, the top player on the team, but my stats weren't like crazy. They were just, it shows how this tank can literally manipulate the battle and control the flow. So to get into what I want to do with this channel is I'm going to do some reviews on some gameplay that I've done, show what I like, what I did, what I didn't like, how I'm trying to, feel out the battle as it's going. I'm going to do some reviews for you guys on, different tanks. I have a lot of high tier tanks at the moment, so showing low tiers will be kind of difficult. Maybe I'll buy some back and show you guys. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just talk you through them. We'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling it out. This is my first YouTube post, and I just kind of want to get a feel for what you guys want to see. I have an idea what I want to see. That's the reason I started this channel, is because I think there's still massive gaps to be filled in terms of content for this game. It's a very popular game right now. A lot of people are playing it. There's a lot of new people, but there's also a lot of amazing people who play this game. And it's a learning process for all of us. We're trying to have a good time and have fun. So I'm just going to try and think of new ways to make it entertaining and exciting and informative so that we can all have more fun and play more tanks and play them well. Obviously, not everybody can win, and I'll show you some amazing, heartbreaking battles that I've had, and I've had a lot recently because I have been playing very well recently, which has been very, very nice and very rewarding. It's always nice when you've played like 30 battle night, and you can look back and you had a 70% win rate and all your stats were around 2,000, and that's just awesome. That's the reason we play this game. So that's getting around 15 minutes now. It's quite a long video. Yeah, this is just sort of my introduction. If you have any questions, things you want to know, put them on the discussion at the bottom. I'll answer them as best I can. This is a new thing, so obviously I'm going to kind of be dedicating a lot of attention to it at the moment. And as I try to get a feel for things, there'll be more and more coming hopefully soon. If there's things you guys want to see, let me know. Like I said, massive thanks out to Darkling, Side Strafe, Quickie Baby, Mighty Jingles, and Nether Void for inspiring me to do this. I really appreciate those guys' content, and just sort of a supplement. So there's more things to watch and a different take. You know, I'm a different person than those guys, and those guys are all different people, and we all have different takes on what makes this game fun and what it takes to be good at it, and we all have different playstyles. So hopefully it's something that you guys can learn from. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm Mecheye, bringing you some World of Tanks coverage, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your comments at the bottom, and have a great one.